So, as we had discussed in the prior video on this YouTube channel, the Montreal Canadiens are in a pretty tough spot when it comes to trading away Carey Price because of the new CBA rules that have been put into play. Things have changed for the Montreal Canadiens. But what if I told you these new CBA rules actually can help out the Vancouver Canucks? If you had missed out, this is what Puckpedia went out there and tweeted earlier this morning. CBA transition dates, Puckpedia breaking news. Effective now for the 25-26 season, we have LTIR changes, a playoff cap, no deferred compensation, no paper loans, and double retention restriction. The full breakdown on these various CBA changes is on the Puckpedia website, and there's a bunch of stuff that you could go out there and look at over here. Let's just dive into the list. I mean, restrictions on paper loans, restrictions on second retentions or traded contracts, minor league compensation limits have changed, mandatory neck protection is going to be in play in July, so there's a lot of stuff changing with the National Hockey League. But here is one of the things that was talked about by Frank Saravalli. This was also from earlier this morning. The NHL and NHLPA have agreed to a rolling implementation schedule for CBA changes. Among them, the new playoff salary cap system will come into effect this season for the 2026 Stanley Cup Playoffs. Another tweet says that teams will have until September 15th, 2026 to sign deals with the current structure in terms of term, signing bonuses, and variability. All contracts signed after September 16th, 2026 will be subject to the new CBA. Also, there have been changes to players' dress codes and players' ability to endorse wine, and yeah, okay, that's really extra there. But this is really interesting. September 15th, 2026 is when the new NHL contract structures are forced to be introduced. And you had Canucks news summaries going out there and saying this is important for the Canucks. Because if the Canucks or another team wish to sign Quinn Hughes to an 8-year contract, include deferrals, or have a signing bonus structure, none of that is permitted in the new CBA. So, if Quinn Hughes, let's just say, as a guy, wants to get an 8-year deal, if he wants deferrals, if he wants a signing bonus structure, if he wants any of that in his next contract, he has to sign it before September 15th, 2026, either with Vancouver or with another team. This is what Satyr Shah went out there and said about the entire matter. Quinn Hughes will be eligible to sign an 8-year extension with the Canucks next summer. Having said that, if Hughes does stay, I wonder if a shorter deal would be more appealing regardless. The title of this Reddit post says, huge implications from today's CBA news. Players have until September 15th, 2026 to sign deals with the current CBA structure. After this date, the new structure will take place. This means the Canucks can offer Quinn Hughes an 8-year deal, but can only get 6 years if he goes to UFA status the following year. Player contracts are being shortened. If you go to UFA status in 2026 and beyond, you can't get 7 years like you could in the past. Now the max you can get is 6. So if Quinn Hughes does want to get the full dollar amount of what he can be owed, it's probably in his best interests to either demand a trade and get out of Vancouver before September 15th, 2026, or just sign a contract with Vancouver regardless. I mean, Satyr Shah's going out there and saying maybe a shorter deal would be more appealing for Quinn. It's like, oh, if the salary cap keeps on going up, if by 2032 or whatever it's even higher than it is now, Quinn, who is probably still going to be good, can get even more. But you also have to think about the contrary. If Quinn Hughes decides to get 8 years, or if the Canucks instead push an 8-year deal onto Quinn Hughes, how much more money could he get? The top comment goes out there and says this: what do we think the AAV will be if he does re-sign with Vancouver? 15 or 16 million? An extra $30 or $32 million in guaranteed money if he wants to re-sign with Vancouver. That, I think, is very, very significant. When you think about just the amount of money Quinn Hughes can make if he goes the Auston Matthews route, signing bridge deal after bridge deal after bridge deal as the cap goes up and up and up, keeping the same salary cap percentage. That's a lot, yeah. But at the same time, if he's able to get an 8-year deal at $16 million, he gets an extra $32 million total on the contract. I mean, the guy's worth 15 or 16 million in general with the new cap environment here. So if he's able to maximize his earnings in that way, I mean, think about it. $16 million times 8 years is $128 million. He'd be going from less than $100 million to over by quite a significant margin if he decides to take an 8-year deal with Vancouver at that dollar amount. Thomas Drance was theorizing 30 to 40 million because of how signing bonus structures are being changed as well. So if Quinn doesn't sign an extension on day one, he really doesn't want to be here, lol. Another reply says not necessarily, he could just be thinking that if the cap keeps going up, he'd rather be in a short-term deal. Not to mention the possibility of switching teams to a contender down the road. An 8-year deal may not be that appealing. If we're talking about pure hockey, then yeah, I could see that. The thing is, Quinn Hughes is in his prime. He is young, and he is about to have $100 million of guaranteed dollars offered to him. He's not going to have another chance to sign a deal like this. Matthews has signed shorter-term deals. LeBron in the NBA has done that. It's not like it's unheard of in sports. So, that's kind of a tangent off to the side there, but the bottom line here is Quinn Hughes has some serious thinking to do. If he wants to get as much money as possible, which I don't really see that out of Quinn, like, you know, we talk about Mitch Marner and we talk about him being money hungry and just kind of penny pinching Mr. Krabs all over whatever dollars he can get, and how that has screwed over the Maple Leafs with their cap environment over the years. But Quinn doesn't really strike me as that kind of guy to demand every single dollar that he could get. He's making $7.8 million right now, for crying out loud. Severely underpaid player, one of the best contracts in the league. He could double his AAV by the time his next contract comes and goes. But if you wanted to show stability, Quinn Hughes can sign an 8-year deal with Vancouver. He can get an extra, let's say, $30 million if he's able to get that contract down. But if he wants to keep on going the Matthews route and just keep on re-upping, firstly, he has to guarantee that he's going to be good every single year, which, come on, he's going to be that good. He's not going to fall off a cliff, Quinn Hughes, anytime soon. Knock on wood, of course. Had to just get that out of the way, just in case. But at the same time, if he does sign short-term deals, we've seen this with Auston Matthews and Marner and everything that's gone on in Toronto, there's a lot of drama behind that. And even though it's a fair move for a guy who is as good as Quinn Hughes is, who might not guarantee himself to be put in a winning spot if he stays in Vancouver for 8 years, you do have to question, you know, what do you value more? Do you value the security? Do you value putting it in the back of your mind and not having to think about it? Do you value getting an extra $30 million guaranteed or something like that if you're able to re-sign long-term? Or do you take the risk and go to UFA status and sign for 6 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel these new CBA rules will affect the Quinn Hughes contract extension talk? And where do you think Quinn Hughes' contract goes in the upcoming years to be? Let me know in the comments all your opinions. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.